From the News Channel 5 network, this is SportsLine.
Hey there, SportsLine on your television. Steve Layman here with you. Glad you are here with us on this Tuesday night on News Channel 5 Plus. Just back from Titans training camp, day 9 in the books. This team continues to grind out there. We'll hear from Mike Belarkey coming up on the program tonight, but we also want to hear from you guys. 737-7767 is the number. You've got a bunch of opportunities now to get out and see this Titans team, whether it's a training camp at St. Thomas Sports Park, whether it was the open practice they held down at Centennial High School in Franklin last Friday night, which I thought was just really cool. To see a NFL team board up the buses, kind of Friday Night Lights style, if you will, and go down and get work in on a high school field. But also, if you live down in the Williamson County area, in Franklin and Brentwood, anywhere south of the city, basically, here was an opportunity to not have to come all the way up to Nashville, not have to go to Nissan Stadium, not have to go to St. Thomas Sports Park to see the Titans. And what a cool opportunity it was for those kids and for those families down there. Almost 7,000 people showed up, which is really kind of cool. We also had the scrimmage or the dress rehearsal, so to speak, on Saturday night at Nissan Stadium. The defense really got the best of most of that work, especially up front on Saturday night. The offense has since bounced back, and that's what you want to see. It's a good back and forth of balance and competition on this Titans roster so far in training camp. What were your impressions? Did you go to any of these events? Have you been at training camp so far and seen the improvements around the facility? Seen the buzz around this team? Were you there on Friday night at Centennial High School or at Nissan Stadium on Saturday for the scrimmage? What were your impressions of all of these things? And most importantly, what's your impression of the team and maybe your expectation now after seeing them out on the field? They, of course, are in the middle of kind of the dog days of training camp now. 9 days in, still 3 more days to go before finally gearing up and hitting another team, somebody in another colored jersey. That will happen Saturday night, the preseason opener against the Jets in New York. There was some news today over at St. Thomas Sports Park. Actually, as the Titans hit the field, the team released a statement, and I'll read that here in just a second, but it was regarding the fact, as had been reported earlier in the day by Bloomberg, but regarding the fact that Susie Smith, one of the Adams daughters, is going to sell her 33% share of the Titans organization. Now, the Adams family selling some part of the team has been long discussed for a long period of time. Many people thought they were just going to outright sell the team at some point, but they've insisted that is not the case. Well, now Susie Smith is selling her part of the team. The Titans made it very clear in this statement, which I'll read here in a second, but very clear that her decision to do that will not impact the operations of the team or its standing here in Nashville in any way, shape, or form. Amy Adams Strunks remains the controlling owner of the Titans. Herself and the rest of the Adams family retains 67% roughly of the organization. So whoever buys in on Susie Smith's piece of the pie will have a third and no more of the ownership stake. So Amy Adams Strunks remains the controlling owner. The family remains the controlling partner of it with 67% of the team. And the daily operations of the team will not change. That is the gist of the statement. And the most important thing to understand if you're a Titans fan, perhaps always worried when one of these red flags come up, because it has been a hot topic about this team and sort of bounced around off of people and reported as possibility for a long period of time. Well, now we finally have some information that a portion of the team is up for sale, but it's not a large enough portion to really matter in terms of the grand scheme of things and how this organization is run. Here is the statement from controlling owner Amy Adams Strunks. Recently, Susie began the process of selling her portion of KSA Industries, which includes a fractional indirect interest in the Tennessee Titans. We respect her right to make this decision and will cooperate fully with the process, which will not impact team operations in any way. Regardless of the outcome of this process, I will continue to serve as the controlling owner of the Titans. The remaining 2/3 of the team, controlled by myself, Kenneth Adams IV, Barkley Adams, and Susan Lewis, is not and has never been for sale. Both personally and as a group, we have invested time, effort, and capital to improve this franchise, and we're excited to see the results on and off the field for years to come. End quote. That is the statement from Amy Adams Strunk and the Titans organization about this development with Susie Smith deciding to sell her 1/3 share in the team. And that last part to me is important because for a long time when these stories and reports came out about the possibility that the Titans were going to sell, there was question about the interest level in the family and how dedicated and how invested they were in this team and in this team in Nashville and putting a winner on the field. Bud Adams, towards the end of his life, was not very interested in pouring money into the Titans. That's just a fact. And he never lived in Nashville. For a long time, no part of the family lived in Nashville. So all of those questions, maybe not accurate at times, but they were certainly fair to ask, well, how into this team is this family? How into Tennessee or into Nashville is this family? Well, since Amy Adams Strunk has become the controlling owner about 2 years ago, things have changed dramatically. She has made big moves. Steve Underwood back as team president to deal with all the things with the league, including some legal issues about the ownership structure of the team. She fired Ken Wisenhunt when he struggled. She fired GM Rustin Webster, who was well liked by many in the organization, including the Adams family, but she felt she had to do it to get a winner on the field. Marcus Mariota was drafted, became the face of the franchise. Mike Mularkey was the head coach. John Robinson is the new GM. All of those things happened under Amy Adams Strunk. And along the way, she's poured in, as that statement says, significant time, effort, and capital to make the Titans better. Effort into all of those positions within the franchise, making sure they're in line. Time, she has a home here now. She spends a ton of time in Nashville and around this team on a daily basis. And capital, absolutely. The team has poured in $75 million or more to St. Thomas Sports Park and Nissan Stadium over just the past couple of years. You've seen the upgrades at the stadium, broadcast center, things like that that are even behind the scenes have been other upgrades. And then at the team facility, you have a new bubble, a new practice turf in there, new field sod. You have bleachers all around the fields with banners and sort of posters that just dress up the field, improve the fan experience during times like these in training camp. You have a new weight room. You have a brand new locker room. You have all sorts of decorations throughout the facility that have been upgraded. It has been totally made over. And it is truly remarkable when you think about it, because 2 years ago, or certainly 3 years ago, when you walked into St. Thomas Sports Park, it was near the bottom, if not the very bottom of the NFL in terms of amenities and state-of-the-art training facility. It just was. It was nothing to brag about. Now it is. Now it is one of the better facilities in the NFL. And Amy Adams Strunk deserves a ton of credit for that. She has improved fan relations. She's made game day experience better. The team has gotten better. And she deserves a ton of credit for her impact and helping to drive that with this team. So if you're a Titans fan out there and you hear this news today, don't allow yourself to group it in with the Jason Lackett-Forer reports and things like that of the not too distant past and say, oh man, what's this mean for my Titans? What's this mean for the team here in Nashville? Because this team is here in Nashville. Amy Adams Strunk is committed to that. The Adams family is committed to that. They're not selling the team. They're not selling a majority portion of the team anyway, or enough to matter. Susie Smith is getting out, but the rest of the family is very much in, including Amy Adams Strunk, and she controls the ship right now, and she is steering it in a positive direction. That's what you can hang your hat on if you're a Titans fan right now. Now, the questions I do want to ask about this, which are not addressed in the statement, is a couple things. I alluded to the fact that Steve Underwood came on as team president for Amy Adams Strunk to deal with some of these league issues. The biggest league issue there is the ownership structure of the team. Because as it currently sits right now, you have three parts of the Adams family. Amy Adams Strunk, her family, 33.3%. Susie Adams Smith, 33.3% in her family. And then you have the third wing of the family, a couple grandsons, the deceased wife, the wife of the deceased son of Bud Adams. They all have 11% or 11.1% to get to the other third of the team. That has rubbed some people at the NFL level the wrong way in the fact that you don't have a majority owner in ownership stake. The team has voted and elected Amy Adams Strunk as the controlling owner, but she just has 33.3% like the other ownership groups do. Now, the part of the family that has the two grandsons and the wife of Bud's daughter have sort of agreed in a pact and signed off to give their controlling message and stake of their interest in the franchise to Amy Adams Strunk. And that's basically how they've gotten through the loophole to this point. But there are certainly some owners in the NFL that do not like that structure right now, and it's caused them some problems. The team was fined $250,000 a couple of years ago because of it. Now, any sale of Susie Adams Smith's share is going to have to get at least 3/4 of the ownership approval in the National Football League. So hopefully this can sort itself all out within that vote, that they can come up with the correct terminology, the correct wording in whatever this is to make sure that it satisfies everybody within the NFL and within the Titan structure. Hopefully that can be worked out. But in the meantime, what does this do for that battle between the Titans ownership and the league in terms of satisfying each other's desires there? That's a real question, and we'll see how it plays out. And then the other question that I just think is curious, not that it's necessarily our business, but certainly has been speculated about. Susie Smith, who's selling her share now, when Bud Adams initially died, it was her husband, Tommy Smith, who came in to run the team initially. That did not go well. Ken Wisenhunt was hired. It was a disaster. Rustin Webster continued to struggle running the team as general manager. Fan relations were not good. The facilities continued to dilapidate under his watch. And after a season of that arrangement, the family got together and Tommy stepped down from his post and Amy Adams Strunk became the controlling owner. A lot of people wondered what happened at that moment. Was it some sort of a family coup, so to speak, that the family didn't like the direction that Tommy Smith was leading the team, or that Tommy and Susie Smith were leading the team, and they wanted Amy to step in and take control? Clearly something like that happened, and now I think this is just further evidence that there is some level of a rift between the Adams family, or between the Adams sisters, because Susie Smith now wants out. And again, not that it's necessarily our business, but as a fan of the team, you like to know the goings on of what's happening there. And I think this is further evidence that all is not great necessarily in the Adams family as a whole. And we see that now. Now, again, I don't think it really matters if you're a Titans fan. I think Amy Adams Strunk has come in and solidified this franchise in every direction that she's taken it. And with this not rocking the boat too much, you're going to have a new minority owner partner of the Titans. But Amy Adams Strunk will still be the one delivering the message, guiding the ship for the Titans for, as she says, hopefully many successful years to come. Our phone lines are open tonight. 737-7767 is the number. Call us up. Let's talk some Titans training camp. Talk this news today about the potential sale of part of the franchise or anything else you want. Again, phone lines are open, wide open, as a matter of fact, right now. 737-7767. Got to take our first break. We'll come back. More SportsLine on the way right after this here on News Channel 5 Plus.